the silent threat of a clear mind. Have you ever felt that rooms grow quiet when you speak your mind? That people shift in their chairs when you share what you truly see? They smile politely, but their eyes betray a discomfort they can't hide. It's not hatred, it's fear. They fear what your clarity reveals about them. Because most people are living inside illusions they have carefully built to keep themselves safe. They cling to comforting lies. They live in curated routines that protect them from the weight of reality. You with your questions, your silence, your ability to see patterns no one else sees. You disrupt their fragile world just by existing. They fear your mind because it reflects what they refuse to see. The mirror effect is real and it is brutal. When you walk into a room, you carry with you the weight of your awareness. Your presence alone is a silent confrontation. It demands honesty without a single word. That is why people feel uneasy around you, even if you've done nothing wrong. It's why they sometimes avoid you, ignore your contributions, or try to silence your thoughts. They sense you are awake. In a world that prefers to stay asleep throughout history, society has always feared those who think differently. Socrates was sentenced to death, not because he was wrong, but because he asked the questions no one wanted to answer. He shattered illusions. He disrupted comfort, his crime, corrupting the minds of the youth by teaching them to think for themselves. Galileo was silenced for daring to say the earth was not the center of the universe. The church feared what his truth meant for their power. Tesla died alone because the world was not ready for the future. He saw Nietzsche touring Hypatia. All were feared in their time, not for their failures, but for the truths they uncovered. Society does not hate thinkers, it fears them. Cognitive dissonance is the discomfort people feel when their beliefs are challenged by new truths. When you speak, you awaken that discomfort in them. Their mind goes into defense mode, trying to protect the illusions they live by. Groupthink ensures that the collective will resist any threat to its comfort. It is easier for people to label you as arrogant, strange, or disconnected than to admit that you are right. Because if you are right, they will have to change. And change is the greatest threat to their comfort. But here is your power. Your clarity is rare. Your mind is a weapon. Whether you use it in silence or in speech, most will not understand you. Many will fear you. A few will be awakened by you. Your responsibility is not to force your vision onto others. It is to keep seeing clearly, even when it costs you connection with those who refuse to see. When you walk alone, understand it is not rejection. It is a sign you have chosen truth over comfort, and that choice makes you powerful in a world that fears truth. You are not here to fit in. You are here to see. You are here to remain awake. If this resonates with you, if you've felt the weight of thinking differently in a world addicted to illusions, you are not alone. We will explore the hidden war society wages against thinkers like you in the next section. Stay here, stay sharp, stay awake. Section 2. The hidden war against those who see clearly. Think it's personal when people withdraw from you, when they downplay your insights, when they mock your silence. You think you are the problem. You are not. You are witnessing the hidden war society wages against those who see clearly. Society is a machine built on comfort, repetition, and illusion. It functions by keeping the majority aligned, obedient, and distracted. Anything or anyone who threatens that rhythm is labeled a danger. Deep thinkers become that danger, not because they intend harm, but because they reveal what is broken. Throughout history, the world has silenced those who see too much. Socrates was executed because his questions made people uncomfortable with their ignorance. Galileo was imprisoned because his telescope exposed the limits of religious power. Nietzsche was dismissed as insane because he challenged the comforting lies of morality. Tesla was pushed to the fringes because his vision threatened those who profit from scarcity. Was torn apart by a mob because her clarity and reason were threats to religious zealots. Alan Turing, who broke unbreakable codes and laid the foundation for modern computing, was chemically castrated and destroyed, not for his mind, but for not fitting societal norms. These minds were not hated for who they were feared for what they saw, for what they said, for what they proved. Their existence forced society to confront illusions it desperately wanted to keep. The mirror effect explains why your insights feel like an attack to others. When you reveal a truth, you strip away the layers people have built to protect themselves from reality. It is like pulling back a curtain to reveal the rot behind a beautiful facade. Most people would rather destroy the mirror than see themselves. Honestly, your presence is that mirror. Cognitive dissonance is a painful process. People will do anything to avoid it. They will ignore you. They will label you as negative, arrogant, or delusional. They will accuse you of being antisocial or disconnected. They will resist you because accepting your perspective would force them to change. And change feels like death to those addicted to comfort. This is why society organizes itself to protect illusions. It rewards shallow thinkers with popularity and attention. It promotes surface-level conversations to maintain the status quo. It conditions schools and workplaces to train compliance, not curiosity. You, the thinker, are a threat to this machinery, not because you want to be, but because you cannot unsee the truth once you've seen it. But here is the secret, this hidden war is proof of your power. When you see the world clearly, you become untouchable, because the illusions that control others no longer control you. Society may fear you, it may push you to the edges, it may isolate you, but it can never own you. Your clarity is your rebellion. Your silence is your strength. Your mind is your weapon. You don't have to fight society directly. Your victory lies in remaining awake while others sleep. This is how you win the hidden war. If you've ever felt alone because you see too much, understand you are not alone. You are part of a lineage of thinkers who walked this earth before you. They paid the price for clarity, but they also lived with a freedom others could never touch. In the next section, we will explore why intelligence often feels like a curse in a shallow world, and why your pain is also the source of your unique power. Stay awake, stay dangerous, stay prepared. Section 3. Why intelligence feels like a curse in a shallow world. Didn't ask for it. This mind that sees too much. This ability to question what others accept blindly. This constant awareness that something is deeply wrong with how people live. You didn't choose this gift, but it feels like a curse. Why does intelligence isolate you in a world that craves connection? Because intelligence demands honesty, and honesty disrupts illusions. It forces you to live in alignment with reality, while others are content living in comfortable lies. A shallow world is built on simple pleasures and predictable patterns. People find meaning in routines, entertainment, small talk, gossip, status, games, and momentary distractions. You find meaning in understanding, in questioning, in seeking what lies beyond the surface, and this creates a distance you cannot bridge with most people. Arthur Schopenhauer described intelligence as a heightened sense of awareness. He saw it as a gift that comes with pain, because the more you understand, the more you see the absurdity in the pursuits of the world, the mindless chase for money, power, attention, and validation, the endless cycles of drama and distraction. You see the machinery behind the smiles, the fear behind the arrogance, the emptiness behind the ambition, and it is impossible to unsee it. Tesla, in his later years, found himself alone in hotel rooms, speaking to pigeons while the world outside worshipped those who sold illusions. His mind was too advanced, too pure, too dangerous for the world he lived in. Nietzsche said, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how." But what happens when your why is clarity and the world around you is addicted to confusion? Why does intelligence feel like a curse? Because it isolates you socially. Your jokes don't land in conversations. Your questions are seen as attacks. Your silence is misread as arrogance. Small talk exhausts you. Shallow conversations bore you. Mindless entertainment feels like death, while others gain energy from blending in. You feel drained when you have to pretend. Intelligence creates a paradox. You can connect with the world only by betraying your mind, or you can honor your mind and accept the loneliness it brings. And that loneliness can feel unbearable, because deep thinkers don't crave isolation for its own sake. They crave connection, but not with illusions. They want real connection, built on truth and depth, and that is rare. But here is where the curse transforms into power. Intelligence forces you to walk alone, but it also forces you to find your true self. It compels you to seek depth within, to find strength in solitude, to learn to stand unshaken in your own presence. You realize you are not lonely when you are alone. You are only lonely when you are surrounded by people who cannot see. Your curse becomes your calling. Your isolation becomes your training ground. Your mind becomes your fortress. The world will not always understand you, but that is not your burden to carry. You are not here to be understood by everyone. You are here to see, to live in alignment with the truth you know. In the next section, we will explore why your presence feels like an attack to others, even when you say nothing, and how the psychological triggers you awaken in people reveal the hidden fear society has toward your mind. Stay aligned, stay awake. Prepare yourself. Section 4. Why your presence feels like an attack. You walk into a room. You say nothing, you watch, you listen, and still people become uncomfortable. Conversations shift. Laughter feels forced. You feel the tension, even if no one says it. Why? Because your presence alone feels like an attack to those addicted to illusions. Most people live with carefully constructed masks. Masks of certainty, confidence, and belonging. Masks that protect them from having to question their choices, their beliefs, their lives. You, with your silence, strip those masks away. You do not have to speak. Your eyes say enough. Your calm exposes the noise in others. Your clarity reveals their confusion. Your refusal to engage in meaningless chatter makes them confront their own emptiness. The mirror effect explains this precisely. When a person stands next to someone physically stronger, they do not feel attacked. They might feel envy or admiration, but their core identity remains intact. But when they stand next to someone intellectually or spiritually stronger, it strikes directly at their identity. Because people define themselves by their beliefs, their thoughts, and their perceived intelligence. Your mind reflects back to them their limitations. Your silence becomes a mirror, and people do not forgive mirrors easily. Cognitive dissonance is the discomfort that occurs when a person's beliefs clash with new, conflicting information. Instead of questioning themselves, most will reject the source of that discomfort. You become the threat, not because you attacked them, but because you represent the possibility that they are wrong. Groupthink further amplifies this. In group settings, social harmony is prioritized over truth. The collective enforces illusions to maintain comfort and status. When you question the narrative, even silently, you disturb the group's sense of security. You threaten the unspoken agreements that hold people together. People will label you as arrogant, negative, or strange simply because you refuse to conform to shallow conversations and false positivity. Your presence becomes an attack without you intending it. It is not personal. It is structural. It is psychological. You are living proof that a different way of thinking, seeing, and existing is possible, and that terrifies those who have built their lives on denial. Consider Nietzsche, who shattered the moral illusions of his time. His words were not just philosophy, they were dynamite. They forced people to question everything they believed in, everything they valued, and they hated him for it. Consider Tesla, whose visions threatened entire industries. His ideas were not just inventions, they were revolutions. And the world ignored him until it was safe to praise him after his death. You are not here to fit in. You are not here to be liked by everyone. You are here to see, to know, to live in alignment with truth. If your presence feels like an attack, it is because it challenges illusions others are not ready to let go of. It is not your job to dim your light, so others feel comfortable in the dark. Your mind is your gift. Your clarity is your rebellion. Your silence is your strength. Section 5. Why society rewards illusions and punishes clarity. Look at who the world celebrates. Those who entertain, those who comfort, those who tell people what they want to hear. The world gives them its attention, its money, its praise. Those who challenge, who reveal, who force people to think. The world silences them, ignores them, or ridicules them. Why does this happen? Because illusions keep society stable. Comforting lies maintain order. Simple narratives preserve control. Truth is dangerous. It disrupts patterns. It threatens power structures. It challenges the comfort people cling to like oxygen. From Socrates to Galileo, from Hypatia to Tesla, society has always resisted thinkers. Socrates was forced to drink poison because he made people question themselves. Galileo was threatened with torture for proving the earth revolves around the sun, contradicting the church's authority. Hypatia was murdered for being a woman who taught reason and mathematics in a world ruled by religious zealotry. Tesla died in poverty while others profited from the systems he created. Because free energy threatened the wealthy. The system is designed to reject what threatens it. Schools claim to value intelligence, but reward obedience and memorization. Workplaces claim to value innovation, but punish those who question outdated systems. Society claims to value critical thinking, but elevates those who say nothing new, only louder. Meanwhile, thinkers who speak with nuance, who question, who refuse to follow illusions, are pushed aside. Why illusions thrive? They are easy to consume. They are emotionally satisfying. They avoid cognitive dissonance. They maintain group identity. They protect people from the discomfort of facing their inadequacies. Truth is heavy. It requires effort to digest. It demands change. Look at social media. Viral content is not depth. It is simplicity, repetition, outrage, and emotional manipulation. Algorithms reward what engages, not what enlightens. Controversial half-truths spread faster than carefully reasoned insights. Catchy lies outperform complex truths. Society is built to preserve itself, not to awaken itself. The masses want comfort, not clarity. They want validation, not truth. They want distraction, not awakening. They want leaders who soothe, not leaders who challenge. But here is your power. You are not here to be celebrated by the masses. You are here to live in alignment with reality. You are here to protect your clarity in a world addicted to illusions. Your life is not a performance for others. Your mind is not a product for validation. When you see that society rewards illusions and punishes clarity, you stop expecting external approval for your internal truth. You begin to realize your path will be lonely. Your work may be misunderstood. Your presence may be rejected, and that is the price of clarity. But in that price lies freedom. You become unshakable. You live without needing permission. You speak without needing acceptance. You think without fear. Clarity is your rebellion in a world that prefers illusions. In the next section, we will explore how to protect your mind in a world that seeks to distract and sedate you, giving you a practical framework to remain grounded while walking among those who fear what you see. Stay ready, stay silent, stay clear. Section 6. How to protect your mind in a world that seeks to distract youth. Greatest threat to your mind is not argument, it is distraction. We live in a world engineered for your attention. Everything around you is designed to pull you away from yourself. Notifications, sensational news, endless scrolling, mindless chatter, manufactured outrage, artificial urgency. The system does not need to silence you with force if it can sedate you with noise. Why does society prefer you distracted? Because a distracted mind is a harmless mind. A mind that does not question. A mind that does not challenge illusions. A mind too tired to see what is being hidden. Distraction keeps you small. It keeps you controllable. It keeps you conforming to a system that feeds on your inattention. Tesla worked in near isolation, allowing his mind to explore without the noise of the world. Nietzsche walked alone, letting silence shape his philosophy. Socrates spent hours in deep dialogue, free from distraction, focusing on truth alone. If you want to protect your mind, you must reclaim your attention. The framework: silence, focus, boundaries. 1. Silence. Turn off what doesn't serve your mind. Delete apps that drain your focus. Mute notifications that hijack your energy. Wake up before the world demands your attention. Let silence become your sanctuary. To focus, choose what to consume consciously. Do not binge noise for comfort. Read books, not feeds. Listen to thinkers, not influencers. Write your thoughts. Don't drown them in distraction. 3. Boundaries. Guard your time with your life. Say no to conversations that drain you. Say no to environments that sedate you. Say no to people who demand your energy without purpose. You do not owe your attention to a world that profits from your ignorance. Your mind is your kingdom. Your focus is your weapon. Your silence is your fortress. The psychological war on your attention, the dopamine loops engineered into apps, are not accidents. They are traps. Each like, each comment, each swipe, each scroll designed to trigger your reward systems and keep you hooked. Your brain's circuitry, wired for survival and curiosity, is exploited for profit. The result: mental fragmentation, surface-level thinking, inability to sit in silence and think deeply. If you want to see what others do not, you must do what others refuse: sit in silence. Let boredom become a gateway to insight. Let discomfort sharpen your awareness. Let solitude teach you resilience. Protecting your mind is an act of rebellion. In a world that fears your mind, your refusal to be distracted is a threat. It means you cannot be easily controlled. It means you can see the illusions others live in that makes you dangerous. Ask yourself, what am I feeding my mind daily? Who am I allowing to influence my thoughts? Is what I consume making me clear or making me confused? If the answer is confusion, change your consumption. If the answer is noise, choose silence. Your mind is your edge. Protect it ruthlessly. Section 7. How to communicate your depth without losing yourself. You see the world clearly. You feel the illusions around you. You sense the emptiness in small talk. You crave conversations that go beneath the surface. But when you speak, people become uncomfortable. They label you as too intense, too serious, too much. And you begin to wonder, should I silence myself to fit in? No, but you must learn how to communicate your depth in a world that fears depth. Otherwise, you will drain yourself, burn bridges, or become isolated unnecessarily. The framework: observe, gauge, seed, withdraw. 1. Observe. Before speaking, listen. Watch how people respond to depth. Do they lean in, or do they resist? Do their eyes light up, or do they shut down? Observation is your first tool point to gauge. Not every environment can hold truth. Not every person is ready for depth. Do not cast pearls before those who will trample them. Gauge the emotional and intellectual maturity of your environment before sharing your deepest insights. 3. Seed. Rather than dropping your full clarity at once, seed it slowly. Use questions instead of statements. Have you ever wondered why people resist change even when they know it's necessary? What do you think is the cost of comfort in society? Questions disarm defenses. They allow others to explore without feeling attacked. 4. Withdraw. If you sense resistance, withdraw without resentment. You are not here to force people to see what they are not ready to see. You are here to preserve your energy and share where it will be received. The psychological reason behind resistance. The mirror effect is at play when you communicate your depth. Your insights act as a mirror, reflecting the illusions people live within. Most people will defend their illusions before accepting uncomfortable truths. This is why many deep thinkers throughout history, Socrates, Nietzsche, Hypatia, faced persecution. They did not conform to the comfort of society's narratives. Their words were weapons, whether they intended them to be or not. Depth is heavy. Most people prefer lightness. Your mind carries weight. Your words carry gravity, but not everyone is willing to carry that weight. If you drop your heaviest truths on people unprepared, they will reject you not because you are wrong, but because they cannot handle the discomfort you bring. Practical examples. In a casual conversation, do not force philosophy. Use relatable stories to seed insight. If someone shows curiosity, go deeper incrementally, watching for signs of genuine interest. If someone resists, smile and change the topic. Save your energy for those who are ready. Your depth is not for everyone, and that's your power. You do not need to be understood by everyone. You do not need to force your truth onto others. You do not need external validation for your internal clarity. Your job is to live in alignment with your truth. Your mission is to preserve your clarity in a world that fears it. You will find your tribe, but it will not be the majority. It will be those who are awake or those who are awakening. Your clarity is sacred. Protect it. Share it wisely. Do not let the world's discomfort make you shrink. Section 8. Why your loneliness is a calling, not a curse. You feel it, don't you? The empty silence after a conversation ends. The restless nights when your mind won't quiet. The quiet disconnection in rooms full of people. You are surrounded, yet alone. But what if your loneliness is not a punishment? What if it is a calling? Throughout history, the greatest minds walked alone. Nietzsche walked for hours in solitude, letting silence sharpen his philosophy. Tesla spent nights alone in his lab, driven by visions no one else understood. Hypatia taught and thought alone, challenging the structures of her time until they silenced her. Socrates stood in the marketplace, surrounded yet alone in thought. Facing death for the clarity he spoke. Turing fought an invisible war, creating foundations for modern computing. Dying alone despite saving millions. Isolation was not their curse. It was the forge of their strength. The psychological reality of isolation. Deep thinkers see what others cannot. They feel what others ignore. They question what others accept. This clarity creates distance, not because you desire it, but because others fear what you reveal about themselves. The mirror effect forces them to face their limitations. Their discomfort becomes your loneliness. Loneliness as a signal. Your loneliness is not a flaw. It is a signal that your mind is working, that you are seeing what is hidden, that you are walking your own path. It is the cost of independence. It is the price of seeing clearly in a world addicted to illusions. Most people fear being alone because they fear themselves. Distraction, noise, and social validation keep them from facing the emptiness within. Deep thinkers embrace solitude because it is the only space where truth can be heard. What to do with your loneliness? 1. Embrace solitude. Turn loneliness into chosen solitude. Use it to think, to create, to build, to heal, to create in silence. Your best ideas will come when you are alone. Your clearest insights arrive in the quiet moments others run from. 3. Find selective community. You don't need many. You need the right few. Seek those who value depth, who ask hard questions, who live awake for transmute isolation into power. Use your time alone to learn, to train your mind, to develop your craft. Solitude is your edge in a world of noise. Your loneliness protects you. It shields you from the collective illusions. It keeps you from conforming. It allows you to remain aligned with your truth. If you feel alone, understand. The path of clarity is narrow, and few walk it. But it leads to freedom, while the wide path of comfort leads to silent decay. Your loneliness is the cost of seeing. But in seeing, you gain freedom, and in freedom, you find your true strength. The stoic power of walking alone. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire while maintaining solitude in his mind. Nietzsche found strength in the eternal return while walking alone. Tesla built the future while the present ignored him. You are not alone in your loneliness. You are walking the same path the great minds walked before you. Section 9. Building your inner fortress, becoming mentally unbreakable. The world will test you. Your clarity will be challenged. Your solitude will be attacked. Your depth will be mocked. In a society that fears your mind, you must build an inner fortress that no opinion, rejection, or chaos can breach. Why you need an inner fortress, say clear mind without resilience, is fragile. A deep thinker without discipline is chaotic. A visionary without boundaries is devoured by the world. Your mind is a kingdom. It must be defended, fortified, and ruled with precision. The historical blueprint of resilience, Socrates faced death without fear, choosing truth over comfort. Galileo endured house arrest, standing by reality while the world mocked him. Nietzsche embraced suffering as fuel for strength. Tesla persisted in obscurity, continuing his work while abandoned by investors. Turing cracked codes while rejected by the very society he saved. Each of these minds built an inner fortress. They were attacked externally but remained unshaken internally. The framework: discipline, detachment, alignment. 1. Discipline. Your mind is strengthened by daily disciplines. Reading instead of scrolling, thinking instead of reacting, questioning instead of obeying blindly, training your body to sharpen your spirit. Discipline transforms your mind from a chaotic storm into a clear weapon. Point to detachment, to be unbreakable. Detach your self-worth from external opinions. Do not seek validation from the masses. Do not crumble under criticism. Do not anchor your spirit to approval. You are not here to please the world. You are here to live in alignment with truth. 3. Alignment. Your thoughts, words, and actions must align. When you think deeply but act shallowly, your spirit fractures. When you speak truth but live in lies, your clarity dims. Alignment is your shield against inner conflict, psychological armor, the mindset of stoic resilience, amor fati, love of fate. Accept everything that happens as necessary for your growth. Memento mori, remember death. Keep mortality in mind to remain focused on what truly matters. Voluntary discomfort. Expose yourself to controlled discomfort, cold showers, hard training, silence to build resilience against chaos. These are not philosophies to read once. They are to be lived daily. Enemies of your fortress is weakened by emotional reactivity, attachment to comfort, constant distraction, seeking validation from the unworthy. You must guard your gates. Not everyone deserves access to your energy. A practical daily ritual. Morning silence. Begin your day in silence, aligning your mind before the world demands it. Focused work blocks. Work deeply on what matters without interruption. Physical training. Strengthen your body to sharpen your mental discipline. Evening reflection. Review your actions and align them with your values. These simple practices compound over time, making you unbreakable in a world that fears your independence. Your inner fortress is your freedom when your mind is fortified. You do not fear rejection. You do not bend to the crowd. You do not dilute your truth to be liked. You remain calm while others panic. In a world that fears your mind, your inner fortress is your silent rebellion. Section 10. Walking your path without betraying your truth. You have seen the illusions. You have felt the isolation. You have built your inner fortress. Now, the final test begins. Can you walk your path, untouched by a world that fears your mind, without betraying your truth? The loneliness of the uncommon path. Most people trade truth for comfort. They surrender depth for belonging. They dilute their mind to fit into circles unworthy of them. But you cannot unsee what you know. You cannot unthink what you've realized. The path of the deep thinker will always feel lonely because clarity separates you from the herd. Your mission is not acceptance. It is alignment. You do not exist to be understood by everyone. You do not live to gain cheap applause. You are not here to seek comfort in illusions. You are here to align your thoughts, words, and actions with the highest truth you know. This is the code of the deep thinker. Historical proof. They walked alone. Socrates was executed for questioning illusions. Galileo was silenced for revealing truths. Tesla was abandoned for seeing the future too soon. Nietzsche was labeled mad for speaking uncomfortable truths. Hypatia was killed for her refusal to conform. Turing was destroyed by the society he saved. Yet their truths reshaped humanity, even if the world rejected them in their lifetime. Finding your tribe while you walk alone, you are not alone forever. The world is large, but so is the hidden brotherhood of those who think deeply. See clearly and live awake. You will find them in books that echo your thoughts, in rare conversations that energize you, in silent moments when you realize others are walking the same path in different parts of the world. Seek them, but do not rush. They will recognize your depth when you live in alignment. Your mind shapes your destiny. Are not powerless in a society that fears your mind. Your clarity allows you to see opportunities others miss. Create what others fear to attempt. Influence silently by your presence. Lead without demanding followers. When you align your actions with your mind's clarity, you become unstoppable. Practical framework for living. Your truth, one create consistently. Let your insights become work that outlives your writing, videos, art, solutions. To live authentically, do not compromise your truth to gain approval. Integrity is your currency. 3. Speak selectively. Share your depth only where it will be received. For protect your energy. Not everyone deserves access to your mind or your time. 5. Keep learning. Growth is the natural state of a deep mind. Stagnation is betrayal. The final reminder: society doesn't hate you, it fears your mind. It fears your clarity because it reveals its illusions. It fears your independence because it exposes its dependency. It fears your silence because it amplifies its noise. But that fear is your freedom, a soft call to action if you have walked with me until now. You are part of a rare few who refuse to live in illusions. In the comments, share how you have experienced this isolation and how you transmute it into strength. Connect with others who walk this path. Build your silent brotherhood. If this spoke to you, subscribe to continue sharpening your mind in a world that wants you dull. Walk your path. Preserve your truth. Let society fear your mind while you remain untouchable, unbreakable, and unshakably aligned.